Welcome to another episode of Therapy Podcast, which is just for me to share my thoughts and to form an opinion about something. Okay, this is a bit of a rough topic just because I really wanted to make a video when this was a raging topic. I could still make a video but never post it. But I was like, no, I'll just wait a bit and see how I feel, see how this opinion develops within me, and eventually I have formed an opinion which I will try my best to communicate with you. The problem is I don't have a vision for this channel. Like, do I want it to be lighthearted or not? But honestly, I want this channel to be like me. I want it to be lighthearted, heavy-hearted, deep, like everything. I'm a lot of things, and I like gaming, I like music, I like talking, I like deep conversations, and this is gonna be that, very deep. Cancel culture is a thing, but I'm not gonna talk about cancel culture. I will talk about something even more complicated, which is how cancel culture is trying to keep people accountable for their acts, and it doesn't work like that. I feel like at least 90% of the time it just gets dismissed. And yes, I do have something in mind when we talk about this. I won't say any names, I will just say that there were some allegations that don't have proof. And in normal circumstances, these crimes, if you want to call them like that, shouldn't have any proof because it's just not something that gets recorded. Yes, recording is the only way to have proof, not just audio recording, audio and video recording. And I just honestly don't imagine how this would be proven. Honestly, these people are not trying to cancel anyone. They're just sharing a really difficult part of their lives. And it is difficult. I'm not gonna lie, because this happened to me. And if you're like, why are they coming now? Why are they speaking up now after years? I also didn't say anything. Because for one, I was in denial for 4 months. And for two, because it would not be considered significant enough to make a case out of it. And also, if I ever spoke to this man, I would only tell him that what he did, just for him to be aware of what he did, and then he shouldn't do it again. And that's the whole point. And I've kept my mouth shut because it wouldn't work. Like, first of all, he would deny it, just as in this case happened. Straight up deny it and claim that it was consensual. And yes, by now you probably know what I'm talking about, even though I'm trying to just be ambiguous. I don't know, it's sad that that's exactly what will happen 99% of the time. The guy, maybe even the girl, but it's usually the guy, will say he asked for permission, or if you want consent, and it didn't happen. And he might have not hear it or ignore it. But here's the thing about consent. It's obvious. If somebody says yes or is completely overjoyed and excited, it's clearly a yes. If they're unsure or if they say no at any point, that is not consent or is no longer consent. There is no rule that if you get consent at any point, that just straight up means there's consent, period. And you can't back down. So what I'm trying to achieve with this podcast is that you think about what this is causing. Like, is this telling people you can harass, just make sure you don't get caught? Or are people just in denial just because they're fans of this person and it's just hard to believe that someone you look up to would do something like that? Even if the things were not bad. They were not bad, but they were not good either. And I don't think he should suffer from this, and I don't think he will, because he has fans that support him no matter what, and if he says that he didn't do it, they will believe it, and that's all he needed to do, just say that he didn't do it. The last thing was for me to expect for him to say that he did it, that he admits that he made a mistake. That is not going to happen. I don't know, it's just, I think it's a maturity thing that they need to be over 30 to do this, to be mature enough to like even admit to themselves that they've done it. But honestly, I truly believe that both these guys that I'm talking about here do not believe that they made something wrong. You know, ignoring lack of consent is not great. And also, just because your abuse doesn't look like it does on TV, it doesn't mean it's invalid. That's all I'm trying to say. And I don't know, I just feel like cancel culture is supposed to like open your eyes and be like, you know, this person is a bit fishy. And no, it just shows like hardcore fans are just defending this person, and you know, it's over. You know, you can't do anything. And then you wonder why people don't say anything. Why don't we speak up? Because it does nothing. All it brings is more negative people towards the victim. Honestly, I don't blame anyone for either speaking up or not speaking up, because it sucks. Either way, it sucks. I've gone through this traumatic experience, and like I admit I was stupid, but also being naive and just unexperienced, it doesn't make it right to be abused. And I wish people would just look beyond the proof part and just try to learn from this. Because sexual abuse, it can't be proved, especially if that person is your partner. How can you prove that you were abused? How can you prove that you said no at some point during the relation? How? I am confused. Like, if the partner is hitting you, that's obvious. But if they just ignore the lack of consent, that can't be proven. And it concerns me because apparently the movies have been teaching kids that no means yes. And it's not even a joke. It appears in movies over and over again. The girl says no, and the guy is like, just comes over and kisses her. Like, excuse me? She said no. What a part of no did you not understand? And it sucks. So I'm not trying to like lynch anyone. I'm just saying that learn from other people's mistakes. It will spare a lot of hurt and pain. And at least you can have clear conscience that you listened to your partner. And as we speak about this, it's on my top 3 things that I don't want to do to people, to accidentally, I don't know, miss their lack of consent. By the way, lack of consent is no. Yeah, this is not an easy topic, and if I made this after, like, I was really eager to make this would be completely different. I was so upset that everybody was siding with the accused just because he was more famous. And that's exactly what they said, that they didn't want to speak up because he was more powerful. And his fans would just cancel them instead. And that's exactly what happened. So I honestly, as I said, don't blame anyone, and I don't believe they're lying. Like, why would you lie about that? Because it just backfired. I would not understand, why would you make abuse up? Why would you make that up? And they were clearly on his side, ignoring the facts that he lied. He lied. Like, he lied. You cannot be a good person if you lie, honestly. And from my impression, I never saw that person as a good one. I'm sorry. Anyway, before I say something too much, I will cease this conversation. I hope that if this topic wasn't for you, that you stopped listening. I should have probably made this disclaimer at the beginning. Thank you very much for listening and watching. If you liked it, give it a like. If you'd like to see more, subscribe, and take care. Bye.